Good day. Today I will be presenting my magisterial lecture on the argument of the existence of miracles as saturated phenomena. So the title of my philosophical research is Miracles as Acts of Love on Healing in Human Goodness. And my chosen philosopher is John Polkinghorne, and in connection to the idea of the doctor of the church, which is Saint Bernard Clairvaux, and attributed as the example of Saint Ursula de Dotska. When we hear the word miracle, we often imagine something extraordinary, an event that breaks the laws of nature. Because of this, miracles can seem difficult to accept, especially in the scientific and rational world. They may even appear irrational or unbelievable. But in this paper, I propose a different understanding. Instead of seeing miracles as violation of nature, I argue that a miracle is an act of love that heals and reveals the goodness within each person. This idea inspired by John Polkinghorne, who explains that God does not usually act by overriding nature, but by working within it, respecting both natural processes and human freedom. In this sense, miracles are not interruptions of reality, but deeper revelation of it. They are moments where love becomes visible and transformative. To make this more concrete, I will refer to the life of Saint Ursula Ridotska, whose life and example shows how love becomes a channel of divine action. So moving on to my three supporting points. First, divine action is rational, love rather than control. God does not force things to happen but works in a loving and irrational way. Saint Ursula's life reflects this, and she served others through education, care, and compassion. Her life reminds us that miracles come from love, not power. Second point, healing is a process rooted in love and relationship. It also includes emotional and spiritual healing, like Joshua David and Jeremy Buckner explains that healing happens through relationship, care, and prayer. In this sense, a miracle is when love restores the whole person, just unseen in Saint Ursula's life. And the third point, the transformative power of love in spiritual experience. Stories like those in Miracle of Love shows that miracles often bring peace, compassion, and inner change. Like Saint Ursula example continues to inspire people to love more deeply. A miracle does not change situations; it changes heart. So moving on to the three objection points. First, miracles undermine the consistency of natural laws. According to Frank, Jonkins argued that miracles seem to go against the laws of nature. Since science depends on consistency, miracles may make the world appear unpredictable or even unfair, especially if they happen only in certain situations. Another example, another objection comes from Benjamin shows Shaw, who says that problem of historical verification. Most rely on testimonies and faith-based sources, which makes it hard to separate the fact from belief because miracles are rare. They require strong evidence, which is often not available. And to my third objection from James Ardlanson explains that interpretation and theological bias. People tend to see what they already believe. Some see divine action, while others see conscience coincidence. Because of these, miracle stories may reflect human perspective as much as actual event. So moving on to my replies on my objection. First, following John Paul Morgan Horn miracles do not need break the natural laws. Instead, they can occur through the openness and complexity of the natural world. This allows science and faith to coexist without contradiction. Second, while historical certainty is limited, the meaning of miracles lies is in their life, in their effects. When people experience healing, renew hope, and transformation, something real has taken place, and even if it cannot be fully proven in a scientific way. And the third, although interpretation plays a role, this does not make miracles meaningless. Instead, it highlights the importance of human participation. A miracle invites interpretation because it respects freedom and it does not force belief. And my insight, this leads to an important insight. Miracles are about love, freedom, and human goodness. They do not force us to believe, but invite us to respond. For us, especially as seminarians, this means miracles are not only extraordinary events, even simple acts of love and helping, forgiving, caring, and can already be miracles. Wherever love is present, miracle happen. So in my conclusion, in the end, a miracle is an act of love that heals and reveals goodness in us. It is not just something extraordinary, but something deeply human and meaningful. As Saint Bernard of Clairvaux reminds us, love is at the center of our relationship with God. So miracles are not just things we see, they are things we are called to become. Thank you and God bless us all.